Let's see. Hello, this is Tim from Tech Artist 41. I'm back after a long moment. Let's see. Alright. Applications and Photoshop. It's just the easier one to use. And yeah, that's just my wallpaper. Takes a moment for it to load. Let's see. Okay. This was the one from last time. Alright. Now let's do something new, actually. Five by 7 usually it works best at 600 DPI. You might want to do it in CMYK, because then it works a little bit better. Okay. Then the next thing. Alright, let's see. First you add a layer, and then you draw. So depending on what you want to draw, you can draw many different things. But the first thing would be to have something that's a reasonable size. Yep. And then we can sketch it out. So there are many sorry. There are many different ways to start something. You either can sketch it out. There are many different things like this. But the thing is, not everything can handle what you draw, and sometimes what you draw is not what you want. Alright. So the first thing whenever I do anything is I draw the basis. So I draw the torso, well, a piece of the torso, the neck, and the head. Yeah, it's going to be a learning experience today. So, but the first thing that anyone needs to understand is that whenever you're drawing, a head needs to be an oval shape of some sort. And then you go from there, create the crosshatch. It's mostly just as a guideline. And depending on where you want your face to be, you can do the crosshatch in many different ways. And then you can do the nose in any matter of ways too. And then the lips. But that's the simple part. But sometimes people don't have a huge forehead either. So what you need to do is actually understand that you have to curve it up and then curve that one to the side. Then it makes it a little bit more natural whenever you're trying to draw something. And whenever you're trying to draw the eye, it needs to be equal distance away, no matter where you have your other eye. What in the world is going on here? Quit all that. Thank you. And then we go from that to the nose. Everyone draws things differently. So the neck, which some people find hard to draw the head, but the neck is something that is easy enough to draw because whenever the neck is turned, it's slightly stretched out and it goes a little bit higher. Then what you can do is this. Also, create the eyebrows, because the eyebrows are just a little bit above someone's eye. And then with the ears, they actually go in line with the eyebrows and the end of the nose. So whenever you're drawing the ears, they actually follow the same lines as the nose and the eyebrows. And from there you can go on and do what you want. But then you have the hair. And the hair can get tricky. Men and women, their hair actually becomes quite different depending on how you actually draw them. Because you can actually turn something that looks like a man into a woman, and vice versa. There's many men that look like women, and there's many women that look like men. It's alright, what's going on here? Okay, quit the preview, thank you. Quit that. I don't know where it's at, but or deal with it later. But yeah. But then you go from there and create everything. So the chin. So with the eyes and the nose, now we have to work on the mouth and the chin. So the chin, it can be pointy, it can be round, it can be square, but the way you actually do it is, watch how see how this line goes like this? So you come in just slightly, and sometimes people don't have a strong jaw, and I usually do my women with a pointy jaw or men with a pointy jaw. Any other way would be harder to do. But yeah. And for men, you do not want to have the lips show too much. But there are some men that do have large lips. So you have to be very careful on that. Because you can turn anything into anything else without even trying sometimes. But then you take this, and from where the chin is, you actually go under the chin and you create the neck. Because if you go over the chin, it actually causes a conflict in the image and it looks weird. And a natural chin actually goes slightly past the neck, so that is also another thing. And then from there you can create the clothes, you can create the hair, and the hair is one of the harder things to create sometimes. The eyes, and everybody has their own style of eyes too. But let me do something here. So with the hair, there are many different ways to draw hair. And I do hair in many different ways as well. I just, whenever I'm doing them, I do them in a way that is more memorable than anything else. So, and also with the eyes, same thing. And then the ears, and they're a little bit tricky because everybody has a different type of ear. And usually what I follow is try to just make a loop. So make a small incision of a triangle, then loop it back, and then curl back inward. And then go out, and then there. There you have an ear. And then you can change the ear of how it looks by adjusting that. And then you can add more features to the ear if you want. There are other ways, but that is the simplest way to do it. But whenever I do ears, I do them just slightly different. And so whenever you want to show an ear, you actually have to create a few things. So you have to create the line that separates the hair from the ear. And a lot of this is more of just practice, everyday practice. Because even myself, even though I know many different ways of trying to do art and all that, I still have to practice. Sometimes daily, sometimes monthly, sometimes both. But yeah. Let's see. This and that. And that. There we go. And with the nose, you do not want to do too much with women. For men, the nose can be more prominent, but if you add more of a prominent nose to a woman, it really shows within what you do. And yes, my style of drawing and everything takes a different turn every single time I do it. It will not always look the same, because if you look at this previous one, it's different than this. I draw from cartoon to realistic quite easily. Mostly because I have everything in my head. I still have to look at reference every so often, because that is just how it is for anyone, is they will need to look at reference, otherwise they too will tend to not know what to draw. So sometimes reference of clothes really does help a lot. So you can do ball gown, maxi, no. But yeah. Because everything that someone does can affect, well, anything that happens in the image can affect what it turns out to be. But yeah, something like that. Of course, the one that I was working on, it's hard to do profile pictures like that, but then you have to also understand that even profile pictures and all that stuff, they tend to be a little bit different and hard to do. Perspective and all that stuff is quite a hard thing to understand sometimes. Let's see. And I love drawing scary stuff. The thing is, I don't draw it until it's towards Halloween. I do love to draw creepy things every so often. And yeah, I tend to take some shortcuts with certain things, but not all the time. Yeah. But I'm usually quiet when I draw, so it's also something else. But if anybody does have any questions of why I do what I do, now would be the time to answer or ask them. But simple techniques of drawing, they all take different forms. And whenever you draw something, you need to be passionate about it, but also sad. uh, well, not really sad. More passionate than sad. And everyone has their own look at what passion, sadness, all that stuff. I'm more of just someone who's been around and understands the complexities of what I draw. Okay. And it's best not to do too much detail, but sometimes it does add a certain charm to your drawings. Even if they are not finished, the drawings themselves will still look nice. I knew I was going to try to finish some things, but I just don't feel like it tonight. I'm still trying to get things back in order. Still working on my crypto, and yes, I mine cryptocurrency. Where have you been for the last 10 years? But I've actually been doing it since 2013. Of course, I had to pay taxes and transferring that into actual, yeah, a whole mess of its own making. But hey, and I know people joke that, yep, Bitcoin. But no, Bitcoin uses way too much energy, and it really needs to stop. Someone needs to create something that will actually use so far less energy that I know there are other coins, but something needs to take Bitcoin's place, or something else needs to happen. I'm only here on the sidelines for now. I think that'll work. And then the dress. What type of dress? Let's see, the Empire, the tent, the strapless, the halter dress, the shoulder, the body can, yeah. No, not that either. Uh, yeah, that's not all the different types of dresses. Sometimes the bikini is always the best choice because it's easy, it's simple, less complication. There's also the well, there is the skirts, so I'll think about it later. But yeah, there's. I was only going to do this for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Um, Whoever did join me or didn't join me, that's fine. This was short notice, but just so you know, tomorrow it will be 9. It'll be at 9:30, and I'll actually finish up some of this and also finish up some of the previous drawings. Uh, Please stay tuned until then. But just so you guys know, on Friday I will not be doing a stream. Um, it I will not have a stream on Friday, and the next time I will be streaming, I'll let everybody know. Well, I hope everybody has a good night, and whatever's going on, I do hope that everybody is taking well. Have a good night, or good morning, whichever time frame it is. This is Tech Artist 41, signing off.